and the Mother Mary in the churches in Africa wears African robes. It's not people's imagination. She chooses to show that form of herself to the people of that land at that time. Because God doesn't like to be an alien. Being all-pervading, being omnipresent, being everywhere, okay, he or she manifests in the form to which you would respond. So to the Greeks, the goddesses wear Greek clothing, to the Chinese clothing. But they leave traces of the unifying stream. One of the very prominent and my favorite example is the goddess known as Kuan Yin, the most popular goddess of China, Korea and Japan. Okay, here we are talking of 1 billion and something like 40 million people, including Tibet, who all venerate Kuan Yin, her 21 forms, 21 different forms. In Japan, she is known as Kuan Non, in China, Kuan Yin, in Tibet, Dolma. In India, she is known as Tara, T-A-R-A. But the mantra of Tara, Dolma, Kuan Yin, Kuan Non, through this entire belt, now if you include the population of India, so we are talking of 3 billion people. Okay. No question of the conflict of civilization in that half of the world. Okay. The mantra is the same, whether it's recited in Japan, or it's in Bengal in India, or in Kerala of India, or in Tibet, or in any parts of China. Tare tuttare ture swaha. Same mantra, same Sanskrit mantra throughout these lands. But in China she wears Chinese clothes, and in Japan she wears Japanese. In India she is shown in a very different form. The mantra is the same. So he says, okay, you can put me in your Chinese clothes and you can put me in your Tibetan clothes, but you can't change my mantra. I'll reveal to you the same all over these lands. Whichever form of mine you choose to worship. So in India she wears an Indian style crown, in China she wears a Chinese style crown. Oh. I have found these similarities also in civilizations that are not historically connected, or there is no historical proof of their connections. I was recently in Guatemala, and I'm not an in-depth scholar of that culture, the Maya civilization. And unique civilization, I found out, unique civilization which never discovered the use of metals, never went through the copper age and iron age, only used the obsidian stone for cutting, and created these huge 150-meter pyramids 150 meters or 75 meters, I'm not remembering exact, but huge pyramids, sculptures, without ever having discovered the use of metals. They developed a complex, deep system of philosophy of time and creation, and creation that the gods have been indulging in for a period, for infinity, much like the Hindu, Buddhist, Taoist view of the universe. Cycles discovered entirely independently of Asian civilizations, complex mathematics, including zero. And I was struck by several things and made me wonder, made me scratch my head. Well, I do believe that there was a cross-Pacific connection. But if these concepts had come from India or China, then they would have also had metals which would have been introduced, which were not introduced. Yet I have seen Buddha-like figures and have taken photographs of those, and their sculptures, figures of beings, great meditators, masters sitting in deep meditation, their legs crossed, hands in the meditative position. And their concept of zero did not depict emptiness, but a point of beginning and ending. Something where something ends and something else begins. That's their concept of, their definition and explanation of zero. It's a very positive explanation. And what struck me was that in the tantric system, we have a system of identifying the lunar dates as divine figures, that the time units are seen as revelations of divinity, as deities. I hope I'm making myself clear. Each date, the first day of the lunar phase, second date of the lunar phase, is a deity, not dominated by a deity, but the temporal, the time form of the deity. Okay? And the Mayas had exactly the same concept. And a major part of their religion was based on the divinity of time units. So they discovered all the astronomical principles and astronomical observations and created astronomical observatories, but never discovered metal. Throws your whole concept of the evolution of civilization out the window. Everything that you're conditioned to thinking just isn't that way at all. You can discover astronomy without ever having discovered the use of copper or iron. And someday you will reinvent electricity using completely different principles of technology, using completely different materials. Once again, the purpose of these lectures is to liberate you from your confinements at every step.